everybody. Welcome back to Eternal Midnight. I'm Chad. I'm here with Erica
Hey guys, hope you're good.
and Santino.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
And we're continuing on with the second week of Friday the 13th week. We're covering the Tommy Jarvis trilogy this week. We got 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to launch right into what is normally considered like a fan favorite, not only of the Friday the 13th franchise, but almost of like the slasher genre in general, because it's got some of the most creative kills. It just really set up like what a stereotypical sleazy teen slasher film really is. And it was interesting because I was talking with both these guys while they were watching it. So I'm hoping they will share some of the same opinions they had then now. Erica, let's start with you, the most squeamish of the group. What was your thoughts on Friday the 13th, the final chapter?
I liked it. I don't know. I felt like the characters were a little more fleshed out, so I had a little bit more, like, I felt for them a little bit more. I love Jimmy. Jimmy's the best. Like, if you guys haven't noticed, I totally root for the underdogs. You guys have probably noticed that by now, but I have a soft spot for the underdogs. That's just it's just who I gear towards. And Jimmy, he was such a dork. Like, when he was dancing, that was fucking hilarious and adorable. And then he got laid, and he was like, I know he got killed. Really, like, how did he get killed again?
He got a corkscrew to the hand and a meat cleaver to the face. Yeah.
But he got laid, and he
got laid.
said that he was like amazing. So he got a little bit of happiness before he got brutally murdered. So
happiness.
It's
after being told the whole movie that he was a dead fuck.
Oh, but Teddy, I hated Teddy. You like the creeper douche.
He was the dude that got killed.
The beginning though, with the like necrophiliac doctor guy, that was nasty.
That guy deserved the hacksaw to the head.
Yeah.
I mean, that was brutal. He basically got his head sawed off.
Yeah.
Oh, and Paul getting stabbed like right in the crotch.
Oh yeah. He deserved that.
He got what he deserved. He cheated on his girlfriend right in front of her.
Yeah, it was this one was a lot more like, it was a really creative with the new way of like murdering people, and the characters were a little bit more established. So it was, they had different characters a little bit, even though they were all kind of the same in general, but different in a way, if that makes sense. I like 4. I would say of all the 6 that I've watched so far, 4 I enjoyed 4 the most.
4 is certainly my favorite, and it's certainly the most creative with the kills. Like, I want to bring it back a bit to Paul's death. I was like, he gets speared in the balls with a harpoon gun, and Jason still has his finger on the trigger. It's like, you're not gonna fire, and then he fires. Oh, okay, yeah.
Ouch.
And it's shot pretty well too. Like when Teddy got killed, after he was watching like that 1950s porn, like the blade slides down, and then like it leaves a mark on the film projector. It's like, wow, that's art right there, friends. Like, and I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who was like shoved to the wall, the bathroom tile wall.
That was Doug.
The guy, yeah, Doug, man. Like, their head being squeezed up, and like right off the bat, I knew like this was gonna be like a fun movie when those two dogs were having sex, and then Jason grabs him and then takes a hacksaw to the head. I was like, wow.
As he's like watching his like weird aerobics softcore porn or whatever the hell he was watching.
Oh fuck! And I was like,
that guy was fucking nasty. Like, all the necrophiliac doctor creepers.
I love that. I just love what the paramedic said. It's a shame. She was a cute girl. She still is.
And then there's Doug.
Doug was like.
Doug.
Why? Because him and Sarah fell in love, and then they both just got slaughtered.
Yeah, I mean they seem to have like a fun shower together, and they like fell in love. All happy, and Doug was like singing in the shower, and he was all like on cloud 9, and and then you hear the tune, and you're like, oh, he's gonna get brutally murdered now. Oh man.
I just love that awkward flirt scene with him and Sarah when they were on the couch, and she's like, "Would you mind sleeping in the bottom bunk tonight? Oh, do you want the top? No."
Oh.
Oh.
I love that. I love that. That was sweet.
I like one of those twins' deaths where she was thrown out of the window and landed on the car in slow motion. It's like, wow.
I think that one was Tina. The funny thing is, how would that kill her? All she did was bounce off the top of the car. She might have been injured, but it's like, I don't think that would kill you.
She might have been injured, not she was injured.
Right, because the other teen, Terry, now she was fucked. She got impaled right through the back and thrown at the house.
Oh my god, that was so hilarious. Honestly, I'm still laughing at Paul's death with the fucking harpoon gun.
Oh!
The finger on the trigger. I was like, dude, put out all his misery. Fucking fire the gun.
Do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys can't tell, it's pretty unanimous. I mean, this is my favorite one of all of them, and I have a feeling it might stay unanimous that this is gonna be our favorite one for all three of us. So kind of, and another cool thing about this one is, like I said about part 3, is there really wasn't much of a story in 3 short of Chris kind of facing her fears going back to the house. Whereas this one it kind of has a story, but at the same time it doesn't. I mean, we do have what's his face? Oh my god, Rob showing up. He was Sandra's older brother from part 2. And he's now there hunting down Jason as revenge for murdering his sister. Because the cool thing about 2, 3, and 4 is they all take place over the course of about a week. And so it was cool that they decided to add that little bit of continuity as a nod, like, hey, Sandra died in 2, her brother's here for revenge.
And he died a hero too. So I want to give
With
props.
one of the worst lines ever. Oh my God, he's killing me! He's killing me!
But yeah, he was telling her to run, and I don't know.
It was just like, but it was cool because it's like you almost probably thought he was going to be the one to survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you probably were like
he stood his own. He was fighting back. It was like he was trying to find Jason to fight him and kill him. Yeah. Tommy watching the girl get like changed and looking out against the window. Oh my god. I couldn't stop laughing when I watched that. I was like, oh.
He's like making all those weird noises. His mom probably thought he was jerking off or something.
Oh, like jumping in his bed. I was like, how old is this kid? I mean, like, how old was he in that?
Yeah, the guy was a perv. He was like, oh yeah.
He was 12, 13 probably.
12-year-old, all 12-year-old boys are pervs.
And I just love how the scene where the mom comes in to tuck him in and she like looks across the way and she like sees Sam naked and she just kind of is like, She doesn't get angry. She just kind of like looks at it like, yeah, makes sense why I was hearing those noises now. And she just shuts the blind.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, let's talk about Tommy a little bit because this is kind of the first one where like we had a little kid in it and he made it to the end. He's Tommy Jarvis as like a 12-year-old killed Jason Voorhees. I mean, again, this is coming from someone who like this has been common knowledge to me since I was like 12 or 13. But for you two, what did you guys think of that? I mean, were you guys thinking Trish was going to be the one to kill him? Did you think Tommy was going to die? What were you thinking the ending was going to
I was expecting I don't know, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. At first I thought it would be Trish because they seem to go with this theme of like the girl being the one to survive. But then as it went on, I started seeing Tommy kind of come out of his shell a little bit. Then I was like, ooh, he's gonna be interesting. And I like Tommy. Tommy was cool. Well, not cool. He got kind of creepy and fucked up having murdered this like mass murder slasher dude. But like I thought it was actually really smart him like dressing up as Jason as a kid That was actually like a smart move of like,
Yeah, that's a pretty smart move.
yeah, and I don't know. I feel bad for Tommy. I mean, his life hasn't been easy, and like, you know,
Mm.
I don't know what happens after 6, but it seems kind of like he got a little bit of a happy ending. I don't know. Do we see him again?
We do not.
Okay, so then in my head he got a happy ending. So
Mm.
there's that.
I like Tommy's like his approach with like him shaving his head to make it look like a young version of Jason in a way, and like him distracted enough to like for like the sister to stab, and then him taking like was it an axe or a machete? I can't
It
remember.
was the machete. He took Jason's own weapon and used it against him.
Awesome. I'm glad that he was able to kill Jason, and then like in the sequels we'll like see like oh my gosh he's fucked up after that. So like okay, and I still liked it enough to be like oh I'm glad that Jason got his death. And well, obviously like in part 6 they will change that, but
He killed him twice.
yeah,
Guy's a lot.
yeah, and I'm still laughing at Paul getting hit in the balls with the fucking
That's gonna be like Tino's memory of this movie. The cringe of Paul.
In the crotch, wasn't it? Didn't he get like stabbed with a knife or something?
Paul?
Oh, it was the harpoon gun, right?
Yeah, Paul was the harpoon gun in the lake when he was swimming out to see Sam. And she
Yeah.
was out in the little boat, but she already got impaled.
For some reason, I thought he got stabbed, but yeah.
No, but yeah, so I kind of want to go back to Jimbo because we covered him when we started, but I think he is one of the characters that really makes this movie what it is because it's like he almost has that like not to play on stereotypes, but it's like he almost played the role that would usually go to like a girl, like almost the same as what what's her face? Oh my God, her name fell out of my head. The girl who was with Doug. Sarah, yeah. Jimmy almost played the Sarah. He played the male version of Sarah, like the insecure guy who kind of gets over his fears and kind of wins and then just gets killed. I mean, and then like that, his dance. I mean, that's classic. That is one of the most iconic things ever.
Yeah, like with Jimmy, like literally one of the first things I when I messaged Chad, I was watching it and I was just like, I love Jimmy. Did you see that coming?
I kind of did because he's such an enjoyable character and building on him, that's another thing that this movie really did is it wasn't just him they built on. I mean, it's like you said you didn't like Ted, understandable, lots of people don't, but it's like he's also extremely memorable, I think. Like that. Yeah. Playing on his computer, looking here, let me look this up real quick. It says, what does the computer say? It says you're a dead fuck.
Even though he's the one that got fucked and
imaginary computer.
Yeah.
He like tried to force himself on both the twins multiple times, and every time they're like, "Get the fuck off me."
Yeah.
I actually kind of like Sarah's death, honestly.
The axe
to the chest, but the thing is, what I find super ridiculous is like the bathroom stays on. I was like, nah, that's just.
I think more than likely the actress had like a no nudity clause. That's probably why. Obviously, Sam didn't.
Nudity in this movie. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
In this movie.
One of the messages I sent, I was like, "There's a lot of tits and ass."
And didn't I tell you? You got to see man ass in this movie, didn't you? You got to see Teddy's bare ass running into the beach when they were all skinny dipping.
I love Jimmy. Like if Jimmy, like if I met Jimmy, I would be the one like kind of crushing on him because he's this sweet awkward dude who like wants to dance and he was dancing like a total fucking dork, but he liked it and he tried so hard to be smooth and that's what made it cute. And then he got his little happy ending before he got brutally murdered. So I mean I'm getting the sense that that's how I'm gonna form attachments to these characters is like maybe they'll get somewhat of a happy ending, but I know they're still gonna get brutally murdered at the end. So I'm like rooting for them. Like it seems to always be like, oh, I hope they get laid or something like that, because that just seems to be a common thing in these movies of people getting laid before they get murdered.
And then the last time you see the poor guy, he's nailed in between a doorway. And
Oh.
Trish runs. I just love it. Trish tries to leave and sees him and runs screaming in the other direction. Jason goes that way and just pushes him right off the door. Just get the fuck out of my way.
One thing I just want to say that I loved was Jimmy's like awkward way of asking Tina if he was good.
Was I a dead fuck?
Was I a dead fuck? And then she was all like, she's like, he was amazing. I don't know. It was I don't know. I was rooting for Jimmy, and then
I think the most awkward line he said had to be when they went into the room to start having sex, and he was like all weirded out, just like sitting there. The twin like gets on him, and then the bed just breaks, and they both fall down, and Jimmy just. Like, the girl, like, screams because it shocks her, and Jimmy's just like, what a shock.
Jimmy was like a horny-ass dude before he got killed.
Oh, I don't see him as that way. I see him more as, like, this sweetheart who's, like, obviously horny, but, like, and it seems like everyone's horny.
Horny. Like, he was horny.
Okay, I know, but more what I'm saying is just like it wasn't just sex on his mind, you know. I think he wanted to like have sex with someone and like cared about them, you know. He cared about being good in bed, so definitely. I respect that.
So let's tackle what the title of the movie itself is, The Final Chapter. Do you guys think this was a good we'll call it final movie, even though it wasn't? Do you think this would have been a good final death for Jason, or do you think they could have came up with something a little more creative to completely finish him off?
I liked how they killed him in this one. I was like, if the series ends here, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. I'm glad that that's how it went out. I wouldn't have any other way, honestly.
Okay. If it ended that way, I'd feel like, you know, they tied up all the loose ends, you know. So
because they wanted this to be the final one, but it made a decent amount of money, so Paramount was just like, God damn it, fine, fuck it, just keep making more, whatever. They keep making us money, we don't care.
Well, one thing I want to say is that in these 3 movies, you could definitely tell that they were making more money because they were better filmed. Mm-hmm. Like they were more well made, and the like camera was better, acting was better, sound was better. You could tell that, you know, they had more money, so they were putting in more effort to make them good. So.
Definitely. And so, yeah, I think we'll just kind of wrap up the final chapter. I mean, I think...
the final chapter.
Yeah, the final chapter, quote unquote. But yeah, I think it's pretty unanimous. All 4 of us enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the side characters. I mean, even though most of them were just there to get slaughtered, most of them had more character to them than the previous 3 movies. And even though Chris... I'd say from the first 4 movies, Chris is still my favorite final girl. I'd say Trish did a damn good job holding her own.
Yeah. All these girls do. Like I love that these girls are fighting back, you know, against this huge, scary dude. So.
Yeah.
So, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. It was a blast, and it rounded out the story. But like we said, they kept going. And so we got Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. This one really divided the fan base back in the day when it came out. So it perplexes me why it divided the fan base, though, because, I mean, I understand the complaint. We'll just say it right now. Yeah, Jason wasn't the killer, whatever. But I don't understand why that was enough to piss people off. I mean, you just saw Jason get killed, and the very last shot of the final chapter is Tommy looking at the camera in a very eerie type of way. And then they're pissed that Jason isn't back in the next movie. I don't understand what people wanted. I mean, I definitely say out of the first 5, this one is the fucking sleaziest. I think when it comes to tits, ass, and sex, and even language, I think they swear more in this one than any of the others.
F-bomb. Oh my God. It's like, Okay, I want to mention like the two like hillbilly people. Oh my god! Oh my god! It was fucking hilarious. She was just like her son, and she was just like, "Shut the fuck up!" And then my favorite line though is like, "You big dildo, eat your fucking slop." So much. Oh my god. That was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry. That was fucking hilarious. The two hillbilly people, like it was just like the son was just a fucking moron. You just wanted to slap him, and like I'm totally glad that Tommy like just punched him in the face. One thing I want to say though is like the actor who played Tommy was like 25 years old. I feel like they could have hired like a younger guy since he's supposed to be like a teenager. But
I think while I agree he might have looked a little too old, I will say he did a good job portraying the like traumatized Tommy Jarvis though.
He did a good job, like with the dreams and stuff like that. He definitely did a good job. The only thing is it didn't feel like I was watching Tommy as a teenager. It felt like I was watching Tommy in his mid-20s because I looked it up. The actor was like 25 when they filmed it. So, but just I literally one of my lines is creative murdering. Just I don't know. It was this one had a little bit more like oomph to it, if that makes sense. Like there was more fighting back. Like I love Pam and Reggie just like fighting, going on and fighting back. That was I gotta give praise to that. That was pretty awesome. And
what did you think of Reggie's screaming? He just shrieks whenever he would scream.
The worst was Pam screaming. It was so bad. I'm sorry, but it was just like it was not. But this one was just honestly, this one I laughed the most because just some of the characters and they definitely took more risks with the like all the swearing. Like there was a like I think this was the one where I don't even know if they said fuck in the other movies, but
I think they did, but like once or twice. But I mean, this movie was nothing but violence and swearing. It felt like.
Yeah.
And nudity.
Yeah, it was. I don't know that the best line though was the "you big dildo, eat your fucking slop." I laughed so hard when that line came up and just oh my god, it was so fucking funny. I'm sorry.
Can I be honest? Yeah. I don't like
the movie. At all?
It feels like out of the 5 I've watched, it's the weakest one.
Even weaker than the first one.
Yeah, I just feel like just like a hot.
You're not alone, dude. Santino, I'll put it this way: there's a lot of people within the Friday the 13th community. They consider this the worst of all of them. So that's the thing I love again about Friday the 13th. The community of it is. I've seen almost every ranking humanly possible for this franchise. So it's like saying you're not a fan of this one, you're not alone. There's tons of people like you out there.
It just feels like I like the story you took with Tommy. Like, yeah, he's traumatized. So after this, like, it's a different, like, holy shit, he's a different guy. And yeah, I get it, but it just kind of felt boring. I mean, like. I get what they're trying to do with you tried to go the Halloween 3 season of the witch route. Like it's an anthology series ish way, but it's like I don't know. I think I felt like this movie just needed Jason, like and like Jason himself, and like I just didn't feel like this was like this was the strongest entry, and I was just like. Yeah, the kills were great. I mean, like, there's some memorable ones. And I like Tommy as, like, a guy who's traumatized and all that. But I just felt like this was just, like, it was hard, not hard to watch, but, like, hard to, like as a fan.
Okay.
Not as a casual fan, yeah. It was okay, but, like, I would say it's the weakest one.
That's fine. Yeah, hey, no problems with you at all. Like I said, this one is a toss-up. Some fans really hate this one. And some fans like I don't love this one. I have this one somewhere in the middle of my rankings, but it's like the thing I will give this one is this is the last one in the series that will like do the point of view killings and wait to like show, you know how in all the previous ones we didn't really see Jason until near the end, right? We would see the point of view kill shots. This is the last one that does that. Going forward, anytime Jason's going for the kill, you just see him, or you see him from the beginning all the way until the end. The days of waiting to see him until the end, this is the last one. So it's like I will give this one respect for that it's kind of like this is the final one of the POV killer camera shots. So it's like I still did enjoy it because, and it's like, while the mystery I don't think was that good, I don't want to say it was obvious it was Roy, but it's almost like on repeat viewings it's completely obvious. I mean, yeah, Roy did give that look, but at the same time you might have wondered, was it Victor though? Did he escape from wherever they took him to? Is Tommy starting to lose his mind because Joey got butchered and now he's going to start a killing spree? I don't know. I mean, I can only go off of how I viewed it the first time I watched it. And the first time I watched it, I was one of those people. I'm like, Tommy snapped. I was like, he's the one doing it. So popping out Roy, I don't know. I did think it was kind of weak. I thought the explanation for why was kind of weak. Why did Roy just leave his son in this halfway home and not tell him he was his dad? I thought that was kind of shitty.
Yeah, I feel like with this movie, it's definitely obvious that they put themselves in a situation where they weren't expecting to have to make another one, so they kind of had to untie the end that they tied, if that makes sense, because they kind of tied all the ends in the previous one, but then they wanted more, so they had to kind of get a way to bring it back. And like it definitely, like, I don't love this movie. I just found it fucking hilarious. Just with some of the one-liners were just hilarious. I feel so bad for Jake.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. That was so funny. He's sitting there next to Robin on the couch. He's like mustering up every bit of courage he's got with him, and he's just like, Robin, I like you. I want to sleep with you. She just laughs her ass off at him.
That was so heartbreaking.
I didn't mean it.
So heartbreaking. Like I root for the underdogs, and then with Robin at the end, she was mad at herself. She was like, oh, why did I do that? But I don't know. I felt bad for Jake because I'm always rooting for the underdogs. And how did he get killed again?
He got a meat cleaver to the face. He was just walking down the hall. He went upstairs and he like looks up and the lightning flashes and he's like, and then you just hear like crunch as the damn thing hits him in the face.
Yeah.
And then there's the couple that was like having sex everywhere.
That frisky ass couple who just everywhere they went, they just were all over each other.
That was hilarious. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious.
That girl had like some of the biggest boobs ever too. Like, Jesus Christ. The way she died was so, God. She got the fucking shears right in the eyes.
Oh yeah, that was painful, dude.
And then her boyfriend got his head crushed around a tree.
Oh, that scene was so nasty. Oh my god. I saw that. I was like, oh, that was so fucking gross. Oh, so like, how did this guy get so strong? You gotta be strong to fucking do that.
I found it kind of weird that he was like that strong.
Right? To crush a man's skull. Or when he was taking those giant metal spikes and he was ramming them through the wall of the like metal porta potty trying to kill Reggie's older brother.
Oh, yeah. And why are there greasers in the 80s? That was so weird. Like those two guys with the car. I mean, we barely knew them, but why were they greasers? It's the fucking 80s. They
were heading somewhere to get laid.
I know, but still, it was like it was full on greasers with the hair and the leather jackets and the like jeans and Converse. It was just super random that they put that there because I don't think it was cool in the 80s. That was cool in like the 60s and 50s, but like in the 80s, I don't know how like attractive that would have been. It was just really random, and they were funny. Like, oh, that one guy where he was like his friend was dead on the like front of the car, and he was
And he
just
thinks he's like still fixing it.
no, you're failing. It's not working. It's not working. And then it was just, that was funny.
So Santino, now that we're talking about this, is it starting to make you maybe enjoy it a little bit more, or you're just still wasn't your cup of tea?
I'm seeing the positives. I'm just saying, like, as movies of Friday the 13th go, this was like just kind of the weakest one. And then, like, yeah, Tommy was a standout, but like I just never felt like they needed to make like the next couple of movies with him. And I just felt like, oh yeah, I mean, like, okay, and I get it, but like I don't really like it that much.
Okay.
But I get that you guys like it. I'm happy that you guys like it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't.
I'm sitting here telling you, you need to start liking it.
Yeah, Santino.
If we like it, you have to like it.
Yeah,
this isn't your number 2 when we do our rankings at the end. You're off the show.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like when I didn't like Birds of Prey. I get special treatment. You don't get special treatment, Santino.
All right.
But yeah, so I want to focus on Tommy a little bit because we haven't really talked much about him. We've talked about the deaths, the other characters. We'll save my personal crush from the franchise till the end because she really didn't do shit. We'll talk about that soon. So with Tommy, I thought what they did with him was quite interesting, to be honest. I thought John Shepard did a pretty damn good job playing a very traumatized Tommy. Just the whole extremely quiet, reserved, keeps to himself, doesn't really talk. And then like that one scene when I don't even remember the whatever the guy's name was, the dude who got killed in the tree. Eddie. When Eddie like stole one of his masks and kind of like jumped out at him, it would make sense that Tommy would just snap and start beating the shit out of him, because it's like his mom is dead. We don't ever know what happened to Trish, unfortunately. All he's got left is his masks, which were like his pride and joy as a kid. So it's like it would make sense that he just snapped like that. And then same thing later when the redneck was giving him shit and he just went off on him too. It's like Tommy in this movie really was a time bomb waiting to go off. And he went off several times. And I think that's why, to me, I thought he was going to be revealed to be the killer. Because I was like, that's what happens when he snaps. He goes on a rampage.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Tommy was definitely an interesting person here. And, like, he kind of disappeared for a bit. But I kind of like that he kind of showed up and faced him. Like, he was, like, he came into the barn and he was like, okay, I got to do this. And he was definitely a broken guy. And, like, the actor, he did a good job, like, when he was having those dreams, when he woke up and he was, like, he was looking in the mirror and he was, like, all covered in sweat and he was, like, all fucked up. And I don't know. That scene just stood out for me a little bit. And
when he would see Jason and start, like, hallucinating.
And then he, like, took a bunch of pills and stuff. He, like, definitely, it was, this movie, like, it definitely had its flaws, but it did a good job of, like, showing this version of Tommy that kind of leads us into the next one, if that makes sense. Of, like, it was a darker character, but I like this theme of having a common character because it gives you more of an interest in it, and it gives you some form of attachment. And I've said it many times. One thing I love about movies is the characters. So, Tommy's an interesting person, and his character arcs throughout all these three are really cool.
Definitely. Santino, what was your thoughts on Tommy just overall? Like, what did you think of that last shot when he had the mask and the knife?
Oh, like, oh yeah, okay, so he became Jason. I was like, he's gonna become the new Jason, and then like, I get why they retconned it in part 6 because like no one wanted to see that, but like I understand like where he's coming from. Yeah, you got traumatized, then like now you're gonna kill everyone else, and then like, okay, understandable, but like again, as much as I like Tom as a character, I just feel like I don't think that's the way he would go, but okay. Like, yeah, you get traumatized, but like you can get yourself help. You know, that's the point. But like,
He did.
yeah, he did, but like he became like a killer at the end, right, with the fucking mask. And so like, oh,
Well, because it's like
Kill one
he
person.
he easily could have. Tommy was on the. He had a long at the beginning of the movie. Tommy still had a long road ahead of him to a full recovery, I'd say. But what Roy did definitely did not help in the slightest, and just absolutely made things worse. So it was almost like a perfect storm to make Tommy worse than he was by Roy dressing up as Tommy's fear. Because that's the thing. It's like Tommy faced Jason and beat him, but it's like that. You can face your fear and still be afraid of it. And that's what Tommy was. He faced down Jason and 4, killed him, but he was still afraid of him. So seeing Jason again and people start dying around him, that's enough to, no matter what kind of help you've probably gotten, that's going to set you back.
right.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's good that in the next one, I think what they did with Tommy in the next one was good. We'll get to that in a few minutes. We're just going to quickly do a wrap up of part 5. Yeah, we forgot one of the best characters. We forgot to talk about Joey.
Oh,
Mr. Candy Bar. The fucker who's the catalyst
you know,
for everything.
I felt for Joey. Like when I first met him, I was like, oh, he's gonna get killed in the worst way. Just like what they're setting up with this character. Like, oh, he's gonna get killed in the most pathetic way, and he did.
What do you think,
Santino?
Did that make you laugh when Victor chopped the candy bar in half and Joey was just like, if that's the way you feel about it, then just forget it.
Oh my god.
You would have killed him too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have, honestly. Like the guy was kind of annoying. I like that Joey got killed with an axe. I was like, yeah, just die, bitch. Just get killed. Like, oh.
I feel for him. I feel for him a little bit. Not too much. More just like, I don't know. I felt bad for Joey, but you forgot about your crush.
Oh my god, Violet. I always had a crush on Violet when I was a kid. I was like, oh my god, this chick is beautiful.
This is the emo
her too, with the weird robot dancing.
Right.
She had like the David Bowie posters in her room. She was like so like, oh, she reminds me of one of my friends from high school so much. But I see why you got a crush on her. I mean, she's definitely like
she was just like a character who it's like you almost would have thought even like the actress is just like, I don't even want to be in this movie. The whole movie, all she's doing is listening to her music and just doing whatever she wants. She seemed like she just didn't give a fuck.
The robot dancing was so weird because it was like she was robot dancing, but her face was just like bored. Her face was just like plain. Like I don't know. When I'm dancing, like I dance like a total fucking moron sometimes when I'm in my house and I'm just listening to music. But I'll be like smiling. She was just like, she had this like straight face and was just like robot.
Oh man, so part 5, yeah, it divided fans and it said to the studio, yeah, you know what? If we're going to continue this franchise like we want to, we have to cave. We have to bring Jason back. And so that's where we get Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. So
he's a demon now.
Huh?
He's a fucking demon.
No, he's a zombie now.
Yeah, the zombie.
We got zombie Jason. We don't get demon Jason until later. We'll see that. We'll see that next week. Erica's face. That was classic.
Another joke. Like this guy's just not gonna die. He's just immortal.
Oh no, he's unstoppable. So part 6. What, Erica? Go. What did you think?
Ew.
That's it. Great. Santino, you're up.
That's the first note. Just Jason getting resurrected was just like, oh, it was so gross with all the worms. But the introduction with Tommy was kind of cool because it seemed like Tommy was a little more put together, not completely. Like he's still a little broken, but he's not just like this, this shaky guy that's gonna snap any minute. I feel bad for his friend that got like buried.
Oh, poor Hawes.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. The actor that played him is pretty hot.
Tommy or Hawes?
Tommy.
Oh, Tom Matthews, yeah.
Yeah, but the Jason's eyes moving, that's how we knew he was alive. I like this theme that they had with Jason's eyes, and this one was kind of cool, and just like moving around. I don't know, that was cool. But Jason is just like brutal here. Like, holy shit, this one was the most gory, I would say. Like, just some of these murders was just like, ugh.
Which one stuck out to you the most?
Just the ones with the paint.
Toxic masculine guy.
Oh God.
She texted me during that part. That was hilarious.
I was so fucking happy. I was like, I hope this guy gets murdered brutally, and he did. But the paintballers, the way all the paintballers got killed, that was pretty gross.
Triple decapitation.
Yeah, and then that other guy, the guy that ran away. How did he end up getting killed again?
Later in the movie, somebody was running through the woods and they found his body parts.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, I remember that now. And then Court having like dancing sex. That was
in the
so
RV.
fucking funny. Oh my God. And he was like worried about it's 10 minutes. That was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. She was like dancing on top of him. And it's just like, oh fuck. It was so funny. Oh yeah, this one was just brutal. Like, Jason's fucking pissed. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. But I love the whole thing with Tommy. Tommy's like, it seems like he's not afraid anymore. He's like, okay, all this fucked me up, but I gotta end this. And then I like the whole thing with Megan.
Megan. I love Megan. I'll say it, out of like Megan was like, obviously Tommy was like the main lead of this movie. Megan was like, I don't want to say sidekick, but she also wasn't like the final girl like a Trish or a Chris or a Ginny. I will say Megan is one of my favorite girls out of the whole franchise, though.
Yeah, I like that kiss, like through the bars. That was cute. And then like they each had their eyes open, and Tommy was like, oh, she's kissed, or like I don't know, it was weird, but it ended up being sweet, so that was cool. The characters were like, some of the characters were super brave in this. Like the sheriff, Megan's dad, like he was fighting till the end. I gotta respect that.
That man went down like a hero.
Yeah, he did, and he was like, okay, I'm the sheriff. If I'm gonna die, I gotta die defending my town. I totally respect that.
I mean, he died protecting that little girl who was out of her cabin.
Yeah. Whoa. When I saw the kids, I was like, oh no, don't tell me he's gonna kill all the little fucking kids. Oh, it's like, oh, they're opening another fucking camp. Oh, but like when I saw the kids, I was like, oh, I feel like they might take it a step too far if he brutally murders all these little children.
Can I just say though, I've been kind of silent. Stupidest way to bring Jason back ever. He walks to the fucking rod. I was like, it's not as dumb as not as dumb as taking your spirit into a cloning machine and cloning yourself after the second Death Star explosion.
Don't even get me started on that.
It's still pretty bad. I like. Okay, so like you guys been talking, and I'll weigh in here.
Yeah, you go. I was ranting, so
yeah. I like the fact that Jason's back in this one, and I like this. We kind of get like a conclusion to Tommy's story, but like the kills here were as like a bit tamer than the first.
The worst.
Okay, by comparison, right? I mean, like I feel like the kills in 4 were still like way more brutal than this one, because like
I think it's because we saw more of. I get what you're saying, and it's weird because these movies are only a couple years apart, but it's like they feel so different with the kills. It almost feels like in the beginning the kills were a little sleazier than they were in this one. like I can't say these were like high class kills, but it's because I think they were shot differently.
Basically, Jason was fucking pissed and he wanted to kill these people. Like he seemed to have, like, he was a zombie, so he seemed to be like insanely strong. Like he would just crush. Like he crushed one of the police
Ripped a man's arm out of its socket and
Yeah.
then slammed him against the tree, and then it smiled at you in blood.
Exactly. He was like he was insanely strong in this. So I feel like they did a good job of showing how like Jason was just like angry and is like, okay, I'm gonna kill everyone however the fuck I want right now, you know? Yeah.
Like, am I wrong in here, Chaplin, saying like I just feel like the kills in this one weren't as like prominent as part 4?
The kills in this one, Erica, I'm glad they work for you. I don't want to say the kills don't work for me in this one, but there's really not that many memorable ones for me in this one. Probably the most memorable kills in this movie was Court getting killed with the knife to his skull, and yeah, the guy in the woods who got thrown against the tree with the smiley face. Like I just don't really. I mean, I just watched it same as you guys, but it's like most of these kills just don't stick with me as much as some of the older ones do. I don't know why.
I think because like I think one of the reasons might be because these like some of the kills here, some of the gross kills were just characters that like I didn't care about at all. Well,
what about what's her face? The one who got pulled out the window and her head spun round?
Oh, that was gross.
Santino,
Okay, yeah.
That was on that list you watched, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was cool. But like, I'm at the point where like I've seen enough crazy stuff to be like, I really don't like. I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing kill. It's like, it's kind of like I got so desensitized already with like all the kills. It's like this one wasn't really like special. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I do know it. That's what happens when you marathon these movies, though. You just straight up. I mean, like I said, I think both of you came close to marathoning 4, 5, and 6, like within like what? Erica, you did them all in one day. Santino, you in less than 48 hours.
Yeah. I did them because I'm a major procrastinator.
But I'm saying in general, it's like it makes sense because between that, you both saw like 40 plus people get murdered. So it's like. Yeah, it's going to kind of desensitize you unless they come up with something really creative to make you go, oh, damn, like Santino, I think I know what you're saying. Like, none of these kills were the same as watching Paul get shot in the crotch with a spear gun, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
fun. Like the double impaling on the bike was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But it was like what is it? The drunken gravedigger getting stabbed in the woods. I mean, but it was just like I know what you mean, but it was like the thing with this movie is the director wanted to do something a little different than what they'd done in 1 through 5. Because I mean, think about it. This movie is completely different than part 5, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it's completely different.
Another fun fact: this is the only one with no nudity in it.
Probably because there's kids.
Well, no, it's because that was the director said he didn't want any nudity in it.
I think it was also partly because it was a more. This one had a bit of a deeper plot with the whole thing with Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, story with Tommy, and I'm glad it wrapped up. I just felt like, like the kills here, like while the story is better than part 5, the kills here weren't as memorable.
Okay. See, that's why to me, I know that, I mean, this is another one, like part 4. Lots of fans consider this to be one of the best. And you know what? They've given me their reasons. I've heard them. I don't see this movie the same way a lot of the fans who love this one the most do. I enjoy this one. Out of the first 8, I don't hate any of them. So it's like I can enjoy this one. I just would never have this one in my top 3. It's enjoyable, but I enjoy other ones better. But like you said, this one does have more of a story to it. It starts out with Tommy on a mission. I am going to be able to see Jason's body in the coffin and put my mind at rest and be able to move on. And I get why he did it. he was taking what scared him and he wanted to completely destroy it and see it destroyed so he could be at rest. And inadvertently, he brought back his biggest fear on his own. So it's like, I like how the whole movie, he was on the mission. He easily could have just left. Remember, he didn't have to stay there. He voluntarily chose to be like, shit, I brought Jason back. I have to put him down. Jason wasn't going to follow him to whatever other town he was going to go to. So to me, Tommy's a hero.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got somewhat of a happy ending for him at the very end of this movie.
Yeah, he totally did. Tommy, I know this seems weird with these movies, but he had a character arc, which was really cool. And none of the other characters in this movie have ever had a character arc because they all die.
They all die or they go insane.
Yeah, and we don't see them ever again. So the part 6 is, I like it in terms of it was a little bit deeper, but I wasn't as entertained with it as I was with the fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I don't know. I feel like one of the reasons with the kills, like, it was definitely more gory, but I think with the kills they didn't impact me as much because a lot of these kills were just random people that got like 2 minutes of screen time. So
yeah,
wasn't like with the paintballers, and then there was all these other random people. Like some of the police officers got killed and really brutally, but it was like I didn't really give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So the big thing that a lot of fans like about this movie is some of the humor that they put into it, and I can understand why. Like one of the scene where the two head counselors were driving down the road, and the guy just stops, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And they see Jason just standing in the road, and they're like, don't go out there. I've seen enough movies to know that a masked guy in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night, is never a good idea. Or the one where the kids are all in the same cabin, and there's people are screaming and dying outside, and the one kid looks at the other one. So, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh yeah, I don't know, the comedy, like I didn't none of the comedy really stood out for me, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like the comedy in 5 was funnier because I don't know, I found 5 just fucking hilarious. I was laughing quite a bit in that one. So the only one where I was laughing like crazy was the whole thing with Court, like, and Nikki, like, having like dancing, riding sex. That was hilarious. The whole thing with them in the RV was fucking hilarious. Like Court was just like, oh, she's just getting murdered back there, and he's like, I'm just dancing to my song, and it was
That's one of the best songs, Teenage Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh, another thing I gotta give props to here, all the rock and roll songs. I love it. I got so much respect for that. I love that music. Like,
this was a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I love that soundtrack. Solid. I love old music, so like, oh wow. It's a lot
I know, like, when I heard that Teenage Frankenstein, it's like, I remember when I was younger, like, I remember with like the old shitty download software I used to have back in the day. Like, I didn't have Napster. I had like one of the ones that like spawned from Napster. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember downloading. Huh?
I had LimeWire, which
I think it was LimeWire. Yeah, it was LimeWire I had.
We got such a huge virus on our computer.
Yup.
We had to get a whole new computer with that one.
I'm young, so I don't know any of this, guys. Sorry.
Oh, this is the old days.
I had an iPod Nano. I had a pink iPod Nano with the round buttons thing.
Nice.
And the Vortex game on it. I love that game.
Nice. Yeah, so it's like Teenage Frankenstein, the one that they sang at the end credits, The Man Behind the Mask.
Yeah.
That was another good song. So it's like, that's why it's like, I got to give this movie the credit it deserves, even though I don't love it as much as the others. It's like, I can see that the director, Tom McLaughlin, he put a lot into this, and I've got to give the man credit and say, the movie may not be one of my favorites, but he did a damn good job on it.
Yeah.
It's certainly a movie directed with passion. I like the story a lot. It's really great. I love I love Tommy's closure. It's just that the kills, which were like the staple of Friday the 13th, weren't as like prominent in this one as they were in part 4.
Mm-hmm.
And
But this movie had Megan in it. And Megan's like my favorite girl of like almost the whole franchise. So it's like that's another win for this movie. And Tommy was what? Remember, like they're driving in her car. She just grabs his head, shoves it right down in her.
And then when they see her dad, he just like looks up from across. He's like, oh shit.
It's like it's like shit. Just shoot me now because he's gonna kill me anyways.
Like I have my face in this girl's crotch, and then I look up, and there's her police officer father, and I'm like, oh shit. I like that Megan like stood up for Tommy. Like she was rooting for him, and she was like, her father was, I don't know. And then her father just realized that he was wrong because all these people got murdered when Tommy was there with them, and you know.
I'm shocked we haven't heard you use one of your favorite words that you use quite often. I would have thought you would have used it for Megan. Sassy.
Oh yeah. Megan is sassy. Definitely.
I was just waiting for you to say it the whole time. I was like, is she gonna mention that, or did she forget? Or
she was sassy. I mean,
she kind of was. Her dad was like, her dad had a few spats.
She was sassy towards her father and that like other like when her and Tommy and that other police officer were there when her dad had to go and check something out. She was pretty sassy to the other police officer. So that was yeah. And then I liked how she was like when she thought that Tommy was dead, she was like fighting off Jason like that. That was cool. Oh, Jason getting like grinded up with the boat mortar.
Oh, the propeller right on his throat.
That was so fucking gross. And then we go underwater, and I was like, oh, his eyes are gonna move. Something's gonna happen, and then it does happen. And, oh, I'm glad that you told me that we don't see Tommy again, because I can just imagine that he got his happy ending, which he deserves.
Yeah. Hopefully him and Megan had a happy ending together. Hopefully they wound up together.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to leave it this week. We're going to leave it with Jason chained at the bottom of Camp Crystal Lake for now until we return next week. But yeah, just I asked it last week. I'm gonna ask it again. So far, thoughts on the franchise, guys?
I personally like 4. 5's okay. 6 is great, but no memorable kills. That's how I see it so far. 4 still remains the best, and I talked to my friend Dylan, who's a big avid fan of the Friday the 13th franchise. He said 8's enjoyably funny, 7's okay, and I heard the ending of Jason Goes to Hell will shock you. I don't know why, but I don't know why.
We'll talk about that next week because I don't know how you're going to react to that. That depends on prior knowledge. But I don't want to talk about that right now yet because I don't want to ruin it.
So with me, I love 4. 4 is definitely so far it's my favorite. 5 was just fucking hilarious. That's the only way to say it. Like it that's what makes it stand out is I just laughed so much just because some of the lines in there with the dildo eat your slop one that line just stands out for me. And then 6, I like 6 because it had a little bit more heart and it was a little deeper, and I like that Tommy got his happy ending there. So yeah.
Well, so far I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, having fun. I said it last week, I'm gonna say it again. It's fun talking about this with two people who you guys are watching it for the first time as opposed to me who again grew up watching it. So thanks again, guys, everyone listening. Thank you. I hope you had fun laughing with us tonight going over the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. I hope you enjoy these movies as much as we did. And yeah, so far it's been fun. We got 2 more weeks to go, and we got a little bit of a surprise at the end of the month. We'll talk about that in a few weeks. But yeah, 2 more weeks to go for Friday the 13th. We're halfway there. So guys, this is Chad. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, this is Santino signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed. I can't wait for part 8. I'm actually hyped for part 8 from what I've seen. The kills. All right.
It's underrated.
This is Erica. I don't know how I feel about the next one. It should be interesting. We'll see what happens there. Thanks for listening, guys. We totally appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you soon.